Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives on how to approach a career in the field from different artists, producers, engineers, and other great minds who share their stories on not only what's made them succeed, but also what has shaped them into the people that they are today. I hope you gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you in your endeavors on your own journey towards success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 167 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today I welcomed the second time only that I've had two guests on the show. Their names are Amanda and Karma, and they make up the collective called the Mixtape Queens. I actually connected with them on Instagram. They actually had an ad looking for podcast guests. So I reached out to be a guest on their show, and then the first time we talked and discussed things, we agreed that they would be a guest on my show as well. They do a lot of very cool things, graphic design for different artists. Like I said, they've been running their podcast now for the last 6 months. They talked to me about, just beginning doing their brand and what they've learned from connecting with different artists from all over the world, the importance of social media, the importance of betting on yourself, and really going all in as an artist, and also, what it means to build a good team around you in order to have success and eventually scale that success into a real business and something that you can use to give back to others. And I think they're just doing it at a really high level already. I'm looking forward to everything they got going. I'm definitely excited to be a guest on their show as well. They plug all of their social media and websites in the episode, so please go check them out when the episode is done. And without further ado, let's get into this one. All right, welcome everyone to episode 167 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today we have a couple great creatives out of the Arkansas area. I got in touch with them probably, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Definitely excited to have them on the show today. They do a lot of cool graphic design, cover art. They also have their own podcast as well. Everyone, please welcome Karma and Amanda, aka the Mixtape Queens. How you guys doing?
Great. Yes, thank you for that intro. Yeah, that was fire.
Absolutely.
What's up, everybody?
Well, I'm glad
it's the Mixtape Queens here.
I'm glad to have you guys on, and I didn't know this was your first time being a guest, so I'm honored to have you on this show today, and I'm looking forward to learning more about you guys as well. So to kick off the episode, just go over how long have you guys been doing this? How'd you get into it initially? Just some basic information for those that might not know you and what you do.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let Karma start first. I'm going to let her start first because she is the original Mixtape Queen. Well, I guess I kind of just claimed that randomly out of nowhere. And, I had already been about 10 years into freelancing as a graphic designer, and I used to go by Lovely Karma, and I went to school for that. I've been doing Photoshop since I was 11, so 20 plus years I've been using Photoshop, and I did thousands of mixtape covers, so I kind of just claimed that title, and it took that was 2015, so it took maybe another 5 years or so before it really caught on and became something. When I met Amanda and we changed it to Queens, just in the past few years recently, we've teamed up and now we have our own podcast and we do graphics for people all over the world, amongst other things.
Well, that's super great to hear, and I'm definitely happy to, like I said, to have connected with you guys and everything. So for Amanda, were you already doing this as well before you met Karma? Was this kind of your own thing, or she kind of convinced you to join in and be a part of it?
Yeah, for sure. She definitely convinced me. I mean, at first I was still working part-time jobs, full-time jobs, Walgreens, you work at other people's stores and stuff, and I'd always been a grocery type of girl, apparently. So I would work at all these different stores. I worked at so many stores, it's not even funny. But during 2020, she just kind of had this conversation with me once we started realizing that we needed to
get her back into making art. And she had this conversation with me. She was doing home health aid at the time because she had stopped doing Mixtape Queens for a while. Well, Mixtape Queen for a while. And she sat me down. She said, I need you to take over the home health care because I think I want to try and do Mixtape Queen full time. And I was like, okay. At first, I wasn't up for it because I didn't know if I could be a caretaker. But after that, I just decided to go ahead and do it. And so I started doing home health aid, and she started going full time. And then she looked at me, she said, you can do this. And I was like, I don't know about that because I've never expressed myself, with any type of digital designing or anything like that. It almost took me a whole year before I started painting, actually trying to paint or anything, because I didn't think that I could do anything like that. But once I did, I was like, so this is, actually, I'm really good at this. I didn't know I was going to be that good at it. So it just kind of took me by surprise. It took a little reeling in, but actually, I've never been happier or more satisfied with the job to be able to work with so many different creatives around the world. And, I was offered that opportunity from the Mixtape Queen herself. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely great to hear, and it's got to be super freeing too to be able to do it on like that level, like you said. I think when you're first starting out too, you kind of need that convincing a little bit. And I feel like if it's just you by yourself, it can be hard to do that. So I think when you have someone there that can kind of like talk you into it and be like, well, here's the good things we could do together, and we can affect all these people's lives in a positive way. And it's like you can't lose no matter what. You know what I mean? I don't see there being any way that it could be negative. So I think what you guys are doing is incredible, and it's great to see that you've been in it that long too already, just doing this thing. And I definitely am curious to know, let's just say when you guys were starting out together, what do you think was one of the biggest obstacles as far as getting this brand off the ground, kind of getting clients consistently? What would you say was kind of a big challenge that you faced? Maybe something you had to overcome. It could be, you guys both might have a different answer here. So definitely, give me whatever you got for that one.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and start because I know for a fact what my biggest obstacle was. And it was only being one person. I had only been one person for so long. And I was only able to get so far, right? You only have so much time in a day. So when I met Amanda and we decided to team up, having that extra person there to help, having a teammate and a partner to work with and help was the key that I had been missing for so many years. I recommend anybody who is trying to run a business or be an entrepreneur to find somebody to help out, because you can only get so far by yourself, right? We need each other. So I would say that was the biggest obstacle for me before I met Amanda. And then after I met Amanda, I don't think I had any obstacles. It seems like everything that we go through is just part of the process, and we accept it and we go with it. Have you had any obstacles?
I mean, other than myself and my self-doubt, other than that, nothing. Nothing. And like day by day, I'm learning to be a little bit more fearless and to just own it, which is what I feel like I was lacking maybe a year or so ago.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty nice feeling coming out of that.
And it has to be good to see the growth, too, just in your own personal journeys and then in your journeys together, too. So you can look at the progress that you've made along the way. And I'm sure you've gotten a feedback from other people, too, maybe people you've worked with as well, just on how far you guys have come. So it's definitely super incredible. And as far as your workflow, because I'm curious about, like, the day-to-day, you guys are getting clients in here. Do you guys kind of delegate tasks? Do you delegate on the day-to-day, like, we got to get this done today, so one of you is going to do this part of it, the other one might do another part of it? Like, how do you guys kind of break up the work as, doing this all just the two of you?
Well,
we break it up good. We have, 3 calendars?
4 now.
actually.
Well,
I think
no, there's 3. We fill them up and have to get a new one.
8
Yeah, so we're real strict on calendars. Like when we wake up and sit in our chair, there's calendars right there. We're looking at it. So we plan way ahead, like what the next 6 months we have planned. We do a lot of booking and like phone calls and talking to clients. We spend a lot of time on social media creating content. Amanda does all of the podcast stuff. She does most of the editing, all the video production and motion graphics that goes along with it. She does that. I'm usually doing a lot of different stuff, which is like cover art, logos, building websites. I build a lot of websites, so we're always busy. And the main thing now is we need more team members. So,
yeah, pretty much.
You know, we do as much as we can as far as scheduling and we also have a lot of Post-its.
Yeah. The Post-its are saving us a lot of time with like trying to look through the different calendars and see, what do I have today? What do I have? Or, you know, you can just write down a few of them that you really need to knock out and do them.
Yeah, because when you're doing so many things, you kind of have to narrow it down. So like, as I complete my list, I scratch stuff off, and then like if people make deposits, you have to keep all that in order. And now we got a filing cabinet. You know, we do our taxes. We keep it pretty legit, and organized.
I was gonna say,
as much as we can.
And those calendars is just for the business side, so I can only imagine like personal life stuff too. So you got all that together as well. It's like that's so much to try and balance. But
yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's true. But we're pretty committed to working. Maybe, well, I guess we're only awake 15 hours a day, but we're working maybe 12 hours of that.
I mean, we're at this level that we're at now because about, I want to say 8 months ago, maybe a year ago, we really started going hard on just artwork in general, but not just artwork. Like you said, it's us working out, going to the gym, eating better foods, you know, just really clearing our systems and clearing our schedules and setting stuff in order so that we can prosper and get to the next level. Right? Because if you can't get that stuff under some kind of control, not that it has to be perfect, because nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
But if you can't get that stuff in order, it's very difficult to fulfill all the things that you want to do in a timely manner, plus have time for yourself and the things that you want to do outside of work and stuff.
I think that scheduling discipline is one of the biggest things as a business owner. You know, we get inspired. I think a lot of us get like real inspired, like random times in the middle of the night, and we might go real hard and have all these ideas and plans, and then wake up the next morning and just barely feel it. You know, you gotta take out the trash, you gotta do this and that. So you lose that momentum. So it's important to schedule everything and to have a discipline to stick to it. And like Amanda said, we do a lot of life work balance. So like we're balancing our personal life and health, which is so important. Like we sit in that chair all day on the computer, and you know, it's important. We have a bar that we hang from on the door, and we do yoga, we do stretching, we go outside, we have a badminton field, we go swimming, we go to the gym, we go to the park, hiking, we do nature stuff. Like, you know, we got to take care of the house too, so we keep all that stuff balanced within our schedule as well.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I actually just made a video I'll be posting on social media in the next few months, and it's talking about that, about how, you know, having like certain hobbies outside of music or outside of like your creative stuff is important because it gives you the time to go live life a little bit. And then when you come back, you know, your creative energy is recharged. So you're able to just come back and it feels like way better than to just sit there all day and just never take a break. You know what I mean? So allowing yourself the time to be able to do that, I think, is super important. So to have that for you guys, you know, I imagine it's super fulfilling, and it just makes everything that you're doing on the creative side a whole lot better. So I'm definitely glad to hear that. And about the discipline thing too, I totally agree with that. I think that, you know, it feels like a lot of people view it in the opposite way, where they view it like if you have a lot of discipline, then you have no freedom. But it's really like if you have the discipline, you create the freedom, you know what I mean, for yourself to be able to live life and do what you want to do. And especially if you love your career and like what you're doing to help people, that alone is going to give you, you know, it's going to make you want to be disciplined. You know what I mean? It's not going to be as hard when you actually love what you're doing. So I think for you guys, it sounds like that's the case where you love it so much that it hasn't been as hard to build the discipline. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that's super awesome. And I congrat you guys on that as well, because that's great to hear. So, and I definitely want to dive into the podcast next, because I know you had told me the podcast is like fairly new, like just this year, I believe, is when you got it going. So, you know, let me know how that idea came to fruition. Like, did you guys just want to give back to artists in a different way outside of just, you know, working with them on graphic design and stuff like that? You know, who came up with it? Was it both you guys? Was it one of you guys? Like, let me know the story about that, because I love the Mixtape Queens podcast and everything you're doing with that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was Amanda's idea. So, you know, she said, let's do the podcast. And I was like, no way, we don't have time. I mean, it's like a full-time job doing a podcast. Even if you're just doing one a week, right? That's it's a full-time job, and at least a part-time job if you take it slow. But something came to me. I was like, you know what? Well, actually, Amanda has another podcast called In My Sister's Garden, and it's for women, and it's like a healing dialogue zone. So I saw her working hard on that, and I saw, you know, it was like really powerful what she was saying on there, and people were really giving good feedback and listening and stuff, and it finally clicked for me that that's a great idea. We do have all these amazing artists that we work with, and some of them, you know, they don't even need us as a graphic designer, but they're part of our community, and we promote them. We love their music. So I said, let's do it. It's a great idea. It's a way to get our name out there and get closer to our clients that we work with. And sure enough, we just said, let's do it. And we started booking all of our clients. And within the first 2 months, I think we're already at 40 episodes. And now we're well over 70 episodes. We've been doing it for 6 months now. And it's incredible. It's really taken off. You know, it's something that every artist, I think, needs and wants to have on their profile and on their repertoire, or what you may call it.
Resume.
Yeah.
You know, just an add-on.
It's a great promotion to get your music heard, and not just that, but to let people see their personality. Like, let people hear their story, because we hear their music, we see the videos, we see a little bit here and there on social media, but we really want to get into the dialogue and hear the story behind these artists. Some of them have incredible stories that they've overcome hardships, and music has healed them and been acting like a medicine for all of us. Music is medicine. So we said, let's run with that, promote that, and now our podcast is one of the biggest podcasts for music podcasts on Spotify. It's on the Spotify chart for top 200, and it's really changed our life, as well as everyone that gets to come on there and share their story and get a chance to promote themselves to their fans and their audience, as well as our audience.
And I gotta say, it's pretty cool being able to have people from all over the world to kind of listen to our podcast, and just have people to even say we have people in 19 different countries that listen to the podcast, that use it for motivation. And we get these really nice, sincere messages, you know, with these episodes that are rolling out. And it just makes us feel like it's definitely worth it. It's worth all the hours. It's worth all the graphics. It makes us feel good. It makes me feel good personally to be able to experience what other creatives feel.
and being able to have that conversation with them and really bring out something special in them that maybe they didn't even know about themselves. I might drop a piece of knowledge on them, or they might drop a piece of knowledge on me. It's an exchange.
Yeah.
Which, I believe energy is true currency. So.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know how you can become a monthly supporter of the show. So if you click on the show description in your podcast platform, you'll see the words support this podcast toward the bottom, and you can follow that link to sign up. You have the options of donating $1, $5, or $10 a month, and that'll be used towards making the show a better experience for you as the listener. That means new and exciting guests, giveaways, and a lot more that we can continue to provide for you. So feel free to click that link and check it out, or visit anchor.fm/provenknowledge/support to contribute today. And for now, let's get back into the episode. Yeah, I feel exactly what you guys are saying. And I honestly felt the same way when I started this show about how I never really set out to do a podcast. But when I did, I didn't realize how good it would be just for me personally, as far as it's almost like a form of therapy. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when we're creatives, we get in our own heads a lot, or maybe we feel like we're going through some things that no one else can understand. But then when you talk to people from, like you said, all over the world, then you realize there's a lot of people doing similar things, and they go through similar things as well. And just to kind of help each other and build that community, that's such a big thing. So like you said, you guys already were working with these artists. Now you're building another side of the community as well, and being able to uplift them in a different way. And then, like you said about the listeners, the listeners could be anybody. That could be artists, that could be other people trying to do a podcast or anything like that. And now you're inspiring them as well. So it really doing podcasting is just so much good. You know what I mean? All around, it feeds everybody. And you're right. Who would say no to a podcast? Honestly, I haven't even talked to an artist myself that just said, no, I'm not interested. That sounds like a dumb idea. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants that opportunity to share their story. And I feel that as well I think we're in the age where, there's so much music and, people want to get their music out there, things like that. But I feel if they're going to become a fan of you, they got to connect with you on a personal level. So they can do that through the music. But then, like you guys said about, they want to hear more about you, the person, too, and what kind of you went through to get to this part or to this place in your life that you're at now. So again, it's just creating that other side of things and just being able to give people that opportunity. So, you guys just being consistent as you are and doing what you're doing on social media and, everything that you've done with the podcast so far, I've been impressed with, and definitely keep up the good work, because I think what you guys are doing there is incredible, and that's kind of how I discovered you guys in the first place. So I think you got to be doing something right there. And as far as social media goes, because I know you guys are on Instagram, I think you're on Facebook, and obviously Threads has just taken off the last week, so I know you're there as well. Talk to me about how you're utilizing those platforms to find artists, to find different people to connect with, and build your brand as well, because your guys' brand is very unique. And I can tell that you're crafting different stories around your content. So how do you guys feel about that? And Threads, for example, where do you guys see something like that headed for musicians?
Oh, wow. See, it's a great platform to use for musicians and creatives everywhere. Just being able to it's almost like a podcast, except for they get to just freely express it. They don't have to wait for anybody to, come in and ask them a question. It's just letting people see who you are and just doing your best to be authentic at it, so that you can get the support and the fans that you actually want. Because let's be honest, everybody wants a certain type of fan. You want the fans that go listen to your music or go look at your art, like it, comment on it, share it. You want that. You don't want the fans that aren't doing, because those aren't, necessarily fans. And the best way for you to do that is for you to let people know who you are. And I think Threads is a great tool for that. Instagram is an amazing app.
I would like to say something about Instagram, because
I really love Instagram, and it's beyond just running my business on there. Like, ever since I found Instagram, it changed my life. Just the visual capability of being able to type in a hashtag that interests you and find endless amounts of people around the world who love the same thing. I think Instagram changed my life in many ways because I was able to find a group of people, I guess you can call like your spirit tribe, and I was able to tap into things that I wasn't able to see in my everyday reality. And through that, I found spiritual awakening. I found my health. I found ways to be creative and connect with people who do music. And I also met Amanda on Instagram. And so that's how I met my wife. And so it's a pretty amazing tool. I'd say our biggest platform right now is Instagram, for sure. That's where we make about 90% of our community. That's where we meet them. So I would say Instagram is number one. We get about 12,000 views a month on our Instagram. So everything we do is organic. We type in, like, for example, we'll type in R&B singer, or female R&B singer, or female reggae artist, or conscious rapper, Japanese hip hop. We like to search things that we enjoy. We like different things, so we'll search that and we'll find people and we'll say hi. We'll show love and support. And if they, are interested, then usually that's how we make our connections, by being able to introduce ourselves and send people directly to our website, which is mixtapequeens.com. And through that, we book our podcast, and people are able to see all of our services that we offer, including all of our portfolio, all of our designs and stuff like that. We're on YouTube now. We're starting to do YouTube.
Slowly building that up. But we're
working on it. We started putting our podcasts on there, and now we're doing a little bit of blogging type stuff, and
well, just to get everybody to know who we are. Just like I was saying before, it's very important that you are authentic and show yourself to people when you're trying to build this brand, which is really you, as a creative, as an artist. Whatever you claim, you have to build your brand, which is you. And you can't authentically do that if you're not showing who you are to the people that you want to support you. So we've taken this kind of conversation that we had about, branching out on these different apps and just building a bigger platform for Mixtape Queens, because it's not just... It's nowhere near its final form. That's all I'm going to say. We have so many different things that we are going to be launching, within the next year or two. And that itself I'm very excited for.
Being able to use the platforms for the steady growth, too, is super important. And, I always say that everyone kind of views the whole social media thing as, evil or bad. But when you utilize it for the good stuff that you're trying to do, it's not all that bad. You know what I mean? And I definitely think that about Instagram, too, because Instagram is where I, too, have found a lot of success as far as, connecting with artists. And I like how you could follow hashtags over there. Like you were talking about the hashtags. You could search the hashtag and just follow the hashtag so you see all the posts that come in every single day. I mean, that's been super helpful for me, and just utilizing that. YouTube definitely, I'm with you there, just trying to take the time to build that up, because it's a sea of information, more so than usual, I think, because it's been around longer, you know what I mean? And there's just so many videos and stuff, but I definitely believe that you do attract the right people, like when you said about, just being yourself and putting yourself out there. And, I think a lot of people, they might not be as comfortable doing that, and it might take, you got to work up to that and be able to feel good in your own shoes, I guess. And then when you do that, I think people resonate with you a lot more. And for you, I think it's that way as well. And just like you said, building the community up, and then, it's only going to get stronger. So definitely, the consistency there. And then I can imagine being able to utilize the podcast in those platforms too has been super helpful for discovery and all things like that. And once again, I got to credit Instagram for making this connection right here. Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation if it wasn't for Instagram. So just using the platforms for good, super vital. So last few questions here, and these are ones I ask on every episode. The first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, maybe give yourself a piece of advice, maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I definitely would not change anything because I don't want to mess up the space-time continuum. And I've seen it on Back to the Future, how that can just mess everything up.
Yep.
So I wouldn't want to go back, and I wouldn't want to change anything because I'm content and I'm happy how I am. And I think all of those struggles that I went through were exactly what I needed to be able to appreciate the level that I'm at now. We go through our dark times, and it's hard, but it gives us character and it gives us experience and knowledge about how to move forward. So that's me. What about you?
I mean, if I could go back in time and not mess up the space-time continuum, I might leave a note for myself and just be like, you got it. You got it.
Where would you leave the note?
I would leave the note, like, in one of my notebooks that I have when I was younger, because I had so many notebooks, and I would write all these different things, but I would never let anybody else read them because I felt like they weren't worthy enough to be read. I felt like that a lot when I was younger. It took a long time for my confidence to even get to where it's at right now. And so if I could go back, I'd definitely leave a note. I wouldn't want to talk to myself because I ain't trying to mess nothing up now. But a letter that it doesn't even have to say my name, just the letter. You got this. You got this. That, that would help me because it would be like, whoa. I don't recall ever saying that to myself when I was younger. I never thought that. I thought I was dumb. What is the graphic design? What is music? What is art? I don't know what that is. I don't think it's for me. And turns out it is. So
it's like
I would just do that. But that's it.
It's like being able to take that pressure off yourself too, which I can definitely see that. And I think when we're young, we don't really. I don't know if we're not like mature enough to understand it, or we just haven't lived life enough. Then the older you get, I feel like you're like, there's less pressure now, because it's like, especially when you find something you enjoy, you just start going into that. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel that 100%. And yeah, what's his name? Doc Brown. We don't want Doc Brown showing up and saying we messed up the space-time continuum. So I definitely don't want that happen.
You ran.
So
right, and then you run out of plutonium and you're stuck there.
You're just stuck.
Yeah, we're not gonna end up in the movie. So, but if we flip that then and we say, 10 years from now, where do you guys envision, this whole Mixtape Queens, the journey? Where do you guys want to be in life? Like, what do you think?
Oh, I think about that every day.
Every day. Yeah, that's the constant motivator, honestly, because the way that we have, it's slowly crafting itself. So we don't know all the details of what's going to happen 10 years from now, but it is slowly unfolding and making itself known how big this is going to be, not just for us as the Mixtape Queens, but everybody that's a part of the community. I mean, yourself included. This is for artists. We are the creatives, and we have to be for the creatives, no matter who you are. And that's our mission, is just to love on y'all, shine a light. And this is something that's global. It's going to touch, people say reach for the stars, but you got to shoot past that sometimes with your dreams. And you can make it. You can make it happen. For sure, for sure.
We work hard every single day for that reason, for our artists and for the artists out there who are needing help, a little guidance, a little motivation. They need some support. They need resources, and that's where we come in. We come in and we help artists take their career to the next level, and that's what we're passionate about. Waking up and getting to find an artist that is you know, I mean, I know you can find it when you're searching for people to be on your podcast. You find these hidden gems that are just like some of the most talented, amazing people you've ever seen, and they may only have 400 followers, but all of those 400 followers are, you know, big fans or big supporters, and you just think, wow, this, you know, these people have so much potential, and you know, we're able to tap into that and be a part of watching these artists grow, and even some artists that are more well established that, you know, that's our dream to work with. We've been able to be blessed enough to work with some of our favorite artists around the world, and we're fully committed to the next 10 years building the Mixtape Queens brand and everything that comes along with that.
Yeah.
For the next 10 years, we have many plans to travel, go hit the road and do our podcast in person, do live events, and
let's just say we're shooting past the stars. There is no ceiling. There's no ceiling. There's no stopping.
Yeah.
It's going all the way.
And really, the more consistent you are with it too, it's like that. I don't know, the initial, like I was talking about the initial doubt when you first start out, it might be like, I don't know how I'm going to get to that point, but I think you guys are at that point now where you know it's just going to keep going up. You know what I mean? So you have no doubts in your mind about it. And I definitely think that as well, because you guys have the work ethic for it, and just everything you're doing is just, like I said, it's beneficial for everyone. And I definitely think you guys are going to get there. So it's going to be exciting to watch. So early congrats on all of it already. So.
Thank you.
And last question here, and it is, do you guys have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Oh, yeah. We got a lot.
Well, since you asked, no, I'm just going to let her go first, and then I'll add my 2 cents at the end.
Oh, well, you can go first.
Okay, well, thank you. So I was going to do it anyway. So my final, what I'm going to leave everybody with today is what was left with me, because I also had a podcast earlier with a beautiful woman, Seasoned Dialogue. Shout out to you. You are a queen. And the biggest advice that she left me with was just be you. Be raw. Be authentic in it. Don't be scared of other people watching and thinking that you're not it, because guess what? You're not for those people. You shouldn't be doing it for anybody except for you. And the right people will come along, and they will find you, and they will support you. They will love on you like you were their brother and their sister. And they can be complete strangers. And you just have to be sure of what you want to do. Be very sure about what you want to do. That way you're not wasting your time.
Very nice. I agree with all that. And I'd like to add that my biggest advice to anyone, this isn't just artists, it's just everybody, is stop sleeping on yourself. Start doing what makes you happy. Start finding out what that is, and start doing more of that. Start having more love and empathy in your heart for people, and treat yourself more kindly. Don't be so hard on yourself. Take care of your body. Take care of your spirit. And don't be afraid to follow your dreams. Sometimes it's going to feel really scary because it's going to have to be risky, right? If you feel comfortable in one place, you don't want to move. But there's so much on the other side of your fears that if you're able to tap into that, you can see miracles every day. And I know it sounds kind of magical and hypothetical, or
well, I mean, I believe that anytime you are uncomfortable or you are in an uncomfortable situation, when it comes to you trying to progress in whatever you're trying to progress in, you're doing the right thing. If it's not scary enough, you're not in the right direction. So, like she said, keep it going, keep pushing, believe in yourself, you know?
And I will say that dreams do come true. And that's why when I say it does sound kind of magical, it is magical because, you know, I've seen it with my own eyes. And if it can happen for me,
it can happen for anybody. You can overcome so many things that you never thought you could. And on the other side of that is your wildest dreams that you never could have imagined, even better than you could have imagined. So I would say, that's number one. But I have a few more things because I think this is really the most important part of the podcast. And I would recommend that everybody start listening to more podcasts. Like, I love movies and TV and music too, but I think it's important to fit that podcast into your life. Whatever it is that you enjoy or that inspires you, find a podcast in that genre and start listening in your free time, in the car, when you're shopping at the store. Put on your headphones, put on those podcasts, put on those inspirational, motivational things that get you fired up, and do more of that. And it's really important that we continue to spread that inspiration. Along with what I already said, one of the other biggest things I can suggest to somebody is go to mixtapequeens.com, send us a email, text us, call us, go on our Instagram, DM us, fill out our contact form, get a hold of us, and introduce yourself. Because one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is come talk to the queens. Yep. Okay? I mean, I don't know how else to say that besides get you some help. Get you a team. Get you some other heads in on your vision so that your vision can start to grow in different ways. Yep. And not just us, but reach out to all of the people that, that say they support you. Make sure that everybody's on the same page. So, like, send out a message to everybody that you know. Let them know what you're doing and let them know that you're serious. You need their support, and tell them what support looks like to you. Support means share my content, stream my music, listen to my podcast, comment on my posts, and get the word out there. So that's one of the things I'd like to suggest. I have a whole bunch.
We have a whole bunch.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch.
First
I mean,
and foremost,
we could go for hours about just how to take what you do to the next level and reach a higher state of consciousness as an artist. Not just, like business-wise, but spiritually. Being able to tap into that creativity and those ideas that come to you.
Yeah, we actually have a couple different classes that we're getting ready to start teaching, and one-on-one coaching for anybody that's looking to, up their brand, which is themselves, create this, make yourself and what you are creating lucrative enough so that you don't have to work for other people. You don't have to not create, you know what I mean? And you can walk in that truly and be you and make that money and that connection with all these different people.
Yeah. So we got a lot of advice, but we'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
And we'll let people, who are serious know that we're here for them and just send that out there into the world.
Well, for everybody listening, if you're not convinced by now, after what you just heard, that you should connect with these two, I don't know what to tell you. That was pretty good. Like, I have nothing to add to that, because that was, if I had to make a words of wisdom blueprint, that was it. Like, that was literally the best words of wisdom that I've probably heard on this show. So I want to thank you guys, once again for, being on the platform today, sharing your story, all that good stuff. I know we're going to be talking tomorrow night as well on your platform, which I'm super, grateful for, and I'm excited for that. And once again, just keep doing your thing. I mean, being consistent, putting out great stuff into the world. And I know I said this on the last call we did. I think we're kind of cut from the same cloth, so it really kind of works. You know what I mean? Just being able to make this connection. And like I said, I'm just excited for everything you guys got coming up. So just keep up the good work, and thank you so much once again.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, it really means a lot to us to be able to have other creatives like yourself reach out to us and have us on their platform so that we can mutually share this
energy of creativity. Honestly, it feels good. It feels nice.
Yes, thank you so much, Anthony, and not just for having us on, but for having everybody on. You know, creating that platform. You do so much work, and you put in so much effort. It really shows. You know, we love you. We're excited to talk to you tomorrow too, and get to know more about you and share that. So we'll let everybody know. Go to mixtapequeens.com. We got all the social medias. Connect with us on everyone. We got Instagram, the Mixtape Queens, and we have the Mixtape Queens podcast streaming on all platforms. So go check it out.
Definitely go
Subscribe
check out
to us on YouTube.
Yes, go check out everything, guys. I think we'll leave it right there. So thank you guys once again. Thanks, guys, for listening today. That was episode 167. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit the support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds. And feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.